So for me, there are two ways to look at addictions. One is the social behavioral impact. So how do they, how do addictions make somebody behave, and what is the impact of that, and how can we make somebody conscious of uh, that, how their actions are affecting their own life, how their actions are affecting the people they love and the people around them. Another way to look at it is from a neuroscientific point of view. So in the brain, why do you get addicted? Why are you chasing something? Why are you going after something again and again? Why are you relapsing? Because there are specific neural networks that lead to this kind of behavior. And the more these networks are activated and the more these networks are involved in addiction, the more the chances are that it could tip over into depression. So both of these explanations are valid, and I personally feel that both of these are important to know. So from the behavioral aspect, the simplest explanation is that addiction gives you a small transient sense of purpose and fulfillment, that you feel like you've achieved something. So every time you get that hit of whatever it is that you're addicted to, for that small amount of time, your brain tricks you into thinking that you have achieved something, which in this scenario you may not find it so easily achievable, because you're not really achieving much. Maybe in that situation you're not achieving much, and so this is a shortcut. So that is the explanation behind it, and I feel that once you know this, it becomes a little easier to get out of it.
Right. But still, I think a lot of, in general, I think if I don't talk about A cities, if I talk about pan India and in the interiors of India, alcohol sales have gone up throughout the lockdown, and I think
Yeah.
everyone saw those, those memes and those photographs outside liquor stores and
Yeah.
everything of the sort.
Yeah.
But I think maybe uh, for us becomes quite easy to understand, okay, the neuroscience behind it, the triggers behind it, and why, what happens. But
Correct.
on a more practical basis, how can we, again, I think this is more, okay, a long term solution, that okay, you reduce and then go full cold turkey.
Yeah.
But again, what's the first initiation to that process? Or is it just keep telling yourself that?
No. So de-addiction. So somebody who is addicted, the de-addiction treatment, the therapy is very complex, and it is not something that you can just give it in two lines over here. The first step has to be acknowledgement. There is a problem. सबसे पहले. If you don't reach there, and reaching there sometimes takes months of therapy, which makes it very difficult. So when a psychiatrist sees a patient of addiction and the patient himself has come or herself has come to you, the chances of recovery are a lot more. Whereas if somebody else has brought that patient and the patient is denying कि मुझे कुछ problem नहीं है, the chances of recovery are less, because it makes it more difficult, because you first have to get to that point where the person accepts that yes, there is a problem. So step one is acknowledgement, and after that the therapy, it's not something that we should talk about here. It should be done under a professional help. I would definitely advise that de-addiction is not something that, at least on the initial part, it helps if you're under professional guidance.
Makes
And
sense,
sir,
right?
just talking on the topic of addiction a little more, is addiction and the concept of neuroplasticity, are they connected to some in some manner? Like a person can, from what I know, neuroplasticity, a person can change, like in layman terms, they can change the wiring of their mind, and can that help in like in the de-addiction of a habit? Are they connected in
Correct.
any manner?
So neuroplasticity is essentially forming new connections between neurons. So neurons are your brain cells. And to put it in the simplest way, every time you learn something, there is a bit of neuroplasticity happening. It doesn't matter what you're learning. Whatever academically you're learning, if you're learning to ride a bike, the first time you learn skiing, that is your neuroplasticity happening, right? And similarly in habits. So in habit forming, there is a bit of neuroplasticity going on. So de-addiction, you have to basically reorient your entire lifestyle. So definitely neuroplasticity has a role in it, but uh, there is still so much that we don't know about how neuroplasticity happens and how can we control neuroplasticity. We just know it happens. So there is still so much research going on, and it is actually one of the most exciting areas of neuroscience. So hopefully someday we will know enough to use it as therapy. But right now we have to do other ways. We have to detour around it to make neuroplasticity happen, hoping neuroplasticity will happen. Like, it's still not in our control.